There are plenty of people that loved the Harpie strategy, but not many of them were willing to wait 17 years for a competitive deck profile. This is a signed Harpie lady from the Metal Raiders set. You can guess who it's signed by and what character she played inside of the show, as well as how old is Metal Raiders for you youngins that have never seen the set a day in your life. That's how long we've been waiting, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you a competitive build that uses Harpie's Hunting Ground to destroy your opponent's face-down cards. No more Phantom Knight's Fog Blade for you, and also negates all of their monster effects. When we first started off, we had a vanilla monster, a very busted but now banned spell card, and a Harpie's Pet Dragon. Now, Harpies are on the rise. Harpies have one of the strongest cards in the Yu-Gi-Oh card game in Harpie's Feather Storm. Being able to negate your opponent's monster effects on the field, hand, and graveyard essentially ends their turn for a lot of meta decks. And when that fails, this deck is a rank 4 deck, so access to Utopia Double and Utopia Combo, man, it just can win games. The only unfortunate thing about this deck is its price and the fact that you have to rely on getting Harpie's Feather Storm consistently in order for you to win games. I do think the deck is still very fun and powerful to play. It has some cheeky combos. Starting off with the monsters, we run 3 copies of Harpie Channeler. This is the reinforcement of the army monster in the deck. Basically what it does is that you can discard 1 Harpie card to special summon a Harpie monster from your deck to your side of the field. It tutors out your Harpie Perfumers, your Harpie Harpists, your Harpie Oracles, Harpie Ladies, Harpie Dancers, whatever you need to your side of the field to start popping off with your plays. Its huge, or its biggest drawback is that you have to discard a Harpie card. I really wish it just said discard a card. The deck would have been a lot better. One thing that I do want to point out is that if you control a dragon monster, this card becomes level 7, so it's actually the best way to pop off your Harpie Perfumers effect. Now, you could play Harpie's Pet Dragon or, you know, your Harpie Lady Sisters, and that's what Harpie Perfumer actually predicates to. When it's normal summoned or special summoned, you can add a card that specifically lists Harpie Lady Sister in its text, and then if you control a level 5 or higher Harpie monster, you can add 2 cards. So if you control a dragon monster, whether it's Harpie's Pet Dragon or whatever you will, and you normal summon or special summon this card, because Harpie's Channeler becomes a level 5 or higher Harpie monster, you can search 2 cards off of Harpie Perfumer's effect. Now we do have a way to mitigate not playing bad cards like Harpie's Pet Dragon or Harpie Lady Sisters and still possibly being able to resolve Harpie Perfumer's effect to add 2 cards. 3 copies of Harpie's Harpist. Harpie's Harpist is the best card to discard with the effect of your Harpie Channeler, because at the end phase it allows you to search 1 level 4 Winged Beast monster from your deck to your hand. It also has a good summon effect, as when it is summoned you can target 1 Winged Beast monster you control other than this card and 1 face-up monster your opponent controls and return those to the hand. That effect isn't necessarily used, but the reinforcement of the army effect is amazing. 3 copies of Harpie Queen. One thing I would like to point out is that all of these Harpie monsters are treated as Harpie Lady while they're on the field and graveyard, which is why you can run multiple copies of them. I'll explain the ones that you can't run multiple copies after Harpie Queen. What Harpie Queen does is that you can discard it to add Harpie's Hunting Ground, which is probably one of the more important cards of this deck because it's so built on destroying background. 2 copies of Harpie Lady number 1 and 1 copy of Cyber Harpie Lady. Now these cards are treated as Harpie Lady at all times, and due to the Yu-Gi-Oh card rule that you can only have 3 copies of 1 card, means that you can only have 1 Harpie Lady, or Harpie Lady 1s, Harpie Lady 2s, Harpie Lady 3s, Cyber Harpie Lady, or the original Harpie Lady. You can only play 3 of any combination of those cards inside of your deck. Harpie Lady number 1 gives your monsters attack, so I thought that that was a really good card. And Cyber Harpie Lady is an 1800 attack beat stick, which could be pretty problematic for some decks to deal with. Next is Harpie Oracle. This card is actually a lot better than it's just one of implications. Upon its summon, you can add 1 Harpie Lady card or a card that lists Harpie Lady Sister in its card text from your graveyard to your hand, and you can special summon it if you control a level 5 or higher Harpie Lady monster. So essentially the same way we make Channeler a level 7, you can summon Harpie Oracle to your side of the field and gain Perfumer's effects. 1 copy of Harpie Dancer. This card is also really good too. you can normal summon it, you can return one wind monster you get to your hand to gain an additional normal summon to your side of the field. I mean, normally you summon her to your side of the field, return her, and then summon another card, and it works perfect in tandem with your Harpie Lady Elegance. A lot of times you can use it to destroy your opponent's multiple back row cards or your opponent's field spell cards and some other cards on their side of the field. The card of the hour, the card that's really good in this deck, I know everybody can't afford it, but it's still powerful, is 2 copies of Thanos. Now, I wanted to run 3 copies of Thanos, but this is already a 42 card deck. Thanos not only sculpts your hand, fetching you cards like Harpie's Feather Storm, your Hysteric Signs, or whatever you need, it also puts cards that you don't want in your hand back into your deck. Now, this deck doesn't have all of the bricks in the world, but sometimes you don't want cards like Harpie's Hunting Ground in your hand because you can search it, or maybe multiple copies of Hysteric Sign. The next thing I want to talk about is that it is a dragon monster, so it does trigger the effect of your Harpie Channeler, making it 7. I decided not to play any rank 7s because none of them were really good, but just being able to gain the effect of Harpie Oracle and Harpie Perfumer made me consider this. If you guys can't afford Thanos, then just don't play it. It's a 40 card deck without it. 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. This can be Ghost Ogre or Effect Veilers. Both of those cards I feel are really powerful into the meta. But that's it for the monsters. For the spells, we run 3 copies of Hysteric Sign. In the live duel, I don't know why I played this card like it was a Harpie card. This card didn't get off of Harpie Channeler. We were definitely in the testing phase of that game, and unfortunately, we weren't able to record enough games, and I really wanted to show you guys how powerful this deck was, so we just went ahead and did it. But Hysteric Sign has 2 effects. Unfortunately, you can only gain one of those effects per turn. When it's activated, you can add Elegant Egotist from your deck to your hand, which allows you to put Harpie cards to your side of the field for free. Or, when it's sent to the graveyard, you can search 3 Harpie cards from your deck to your hand. Both of these effects can be essential, but the graveyard effect is probably what you're looking to get most of the time. Being able to get cards like Harpie's Feather Storm to your hand immediately sets you up for so many plays. 3 Call by the Grave to prevent your opponent from disrupting you. And then only 2 copies of Harpie's Hunting Ground. This card is easily recurable. It's easy to get into. And then in most games, I haven't really found a need for more than 2. You have 6 ways to search this card, so terraforming really isn't needed. 2 copies of Alluring Mirror Split. This card's a lot better than what it seems to be. When a Harpie monster you control is destroyed by battle, you can spell summon a Harpie monster with a different name. That effect, it's okay, but it almost ensures that our Harpie monsters will stay on the side of the field. And when this card itself is destroyed, you can spell summon a Harpie monster from your graveyard to your side of the field. That is the effect that you guys should always look for, because it's an extender. It allows you to spell summon those Harpie monsters back to your side of the field for some more insane plays. 2 copies of Elegant Egotist. Basically, I felt that 2 was way better than 1 in this particular situation, because you almost have an infinite flow of Harpie Ladies in your deck. Harpie Lady, the original card, because of your Harpie's Feather Rest. And Elegant Egotist is just a free monster to your side of the field, so it allows you to pop off with some plays. Double or Nothing is the last spell card. It's for the Utopia combo. And then for the traps, we run 3 copies of Harpie's Feather Storm. We run 3 8 hand traps inside of this deck between double Thanos, triple Ash Blossom, and triple Feather Storm. Best card of the deck, and is the reason why the deck is so viable. 2 copies of Hysteric Party. If you can resolve this, even spell summoning 2 Harpie monsters can be really good. Just being able to have multiple monsters to your side of the field off of discarding probably a Harpie monster is too strong. And then Harpie Lady Elegance is a reinforcement of the army. I'll show you a little bit more about this card in the combo. The first effect, that you guys can see, we don't run sisters, so we'll never get, but the second effect is too strong. Moving on to the extra deck. I run 1 copy of Mech Knight Crusadia Avramax. This Link 4 monster, he's the best. I just can't, I keep saying he might be the best, he's one of the best. He's the best, just because he's easy to get into. He provides a monster to get over almost any threat that your opponent can put to their side of the field. He can't be targeted, and then when he is disrupted, you can shuffle a card on the field into your opponent's deck, or into the deck, so you can even shuffle in your own cards. The card is just insanely powerful. 1 copy of Nightmare Unicorn, 1 copy of Nightmare Phoenix. Just really good generic link monsters. Only one copy of Greatfly. This is a card that you actually can run multiple copies of. One copy of Beat Cop from the Underworld. I felt that this card was actually necessary because there are times where you have non-wind monsters or you know, non-Harpie monsters, and you want those 2 link arrows pointing down, so just make the Beat Cop. 2 copies of Harpie Conductor. I know these guys are proxies. We're still working with the proxies. We're working on getting our Harpie cards, but I feel that you can run 1 copy of this and get away with it, and it's not a bad effect. Basically, it becomes Harpie Lady on the field, so it can trigger the effect of your Harpie's Hunting Ground. And when one of your Harpie monsters will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy 1 spell or trap card you control instead, which is still a pretty good effect. And then it says, if a face-up Harpie monster you control is returned to the hand, you can target 1 special summon monster your opponent controls and return that monster. Now, that effect right there kind of like threw me in a loop because it kind of like takes everything that you know about Harpies and then goes completely to the left. The deck is built on destroying back row or just like getting resources. I felt that a better effect would have been like to search a Harpie card or whatever, but the only bounce cards that we have are Harpie Harpist and Harpie Dancer, and one of them we don't even want to use the bounce effect. We want to actually get the discard effect off. So it was definitely, and you know, to make matters worse, we don't have a way to consistently do it on our opponent's turn, so it can be a disruption. So it was an interesting card for Konami to give to us, but I still think that it's really good because it is a Harpie monster in its name, and it does protect your Harpie cards. 1 copy of Evil Storm Excited Knight. We play a load of rank 4s because, you know, the deck can afford to do it, and Excited Knight is one of the slept on rank 4s in the deck because it was unfair back in the Yu-Gi-Oh format when it first came out, and it's still really good in today's Yu-Gi-Oh. Tornado Dragon to destroy opponent's back row, Abyss Dweller. We also run Lightning, Double, and Utopia for our situation, whatever one is needed. Lightning Chidori and Ice Beast Zero Fine. That is it for the extra deck and the main deck. The side deck, I like to keep it, I mean, Harpies for the most part. We don't run anything like too out of the ordinary. I think that it's a very basic side deck, so we can kind of like just move on from that and get into the combos. So Harpies don't necessarily have like some super insane board breaking or board making combos, but there are a couple of rules. The first rule is that you get into your Hysteric Sign as fast as possible. If you can combine that with Harpie's Hunting Ground and any Harpie monster, what you want to do is set your Hysteric Sign, activate your Hunting Ground, and then normal summon your Harpie monster, destroying the Hysteric Sign, which during the end phase will add you Harpie's Feather Storm and 2 other cards. The Harpie's Feather Storm is mucho important though, because using this from your hand is like, it's almost unstoppable. It's infinite impermanence level because there's not too many cards that Harpie Feather Storm can be interacted with, and it negates all of your opponent's monster effects in the hand, field, and graveyard. So literally that can be a complete blowout no matter what board that you have. Now I'm gonna go ahead and recreate my first turn board from our video just to show you, because it was literally the best board that you can open with Harpies, or the best hand you can open with Harpies. Don't think you could open one. I opened Harpie's Queen, but we're just gonna get the Hunting Ground, Hysteric Sign, Harpie Channeler, and I also opened Harpie Harpist. Now the reason why this board is gonna be so good is the end board won't look like much, but you'll literally end up with the exact, or not the exact same 4 cards, but you'll end up with 5 cards in your hand, 4 cards on the field, and you'll have that negation that you always want. What you're gonna do is normal summon your Harpie Channeler and then activate your Harpie's Hunting Ground. Setting your Hysteric Sign, you use the effect of your Harpie Channeler, pitching Harpie Harpist to special summon Harpie Perfumer. Now, your Harpie's Hunting Ground is a mandatory effect, so it has to be Chain Link 1, and your Harpie Perfumer has to be Chain Link 2. With Harpie's Perfumer, you can add Alluring Mirror Split, and then with resolving Harpie's Hunting Ground, you destroy the Hysteric Sign. Activate your Alluring Mirror Split, and here's where you guys can, you know, go a little bit different if you really wanted to. Let's say you discarded the Harpie Queen. You can use both of these monsters for a Link Summon into your Harpie Conductor, and then trigger the effect of Hunting Ground again, special summon, trigger the effect of Hunting Ground, destroying Alluring Mirror Split, and then special summon your Harpie Queen to your side of the field. Or you can bring back your Channeler, it doesn't really matter. Whatever you want to destroy, and then destroying your Harpie's Hunting Ground. I didn't think that that was the best idea because I didn't have enough cards to destroy, to pop off with all those effects. I didn't want to lose my Harpie's Hunting Ground. I didn't want to use my Alluring Mirror Split just to get back Harpie Perfumer, or whatever Harpie monster I had in my graveyard, which really wouldn't have done much. So I decided to actually stick it this way. But if you have more cards that you want to destroy on the field, then yes, go ahead and do that. I decided to stick it this way because I felt that this was the most optimal board. At the end phase, trigger the effect of your Hysteric Sign, add Harpie's Featherstorm, Harpie Lady Elegance, and Harpie Harpist from your deck to your hand, and then trigger the effect of your Harpie Harpist to add Harpie Dancer. Now, some players like to add another Channeler, Perfumer, and whatnot, which isn't a terrible idea, but the reason why I decided to go about this route is because let's say my opponent breaks my Harpie Channeler board after I Featherstorm them. Let's say they break this. During my following turn, I can set the Elegance face down, normal summon the Harpie Dancer, triggering an effect of Hunting Ground, destroying the Elegance to add my second copy of Harpie Channeler, then use the Dancer to return itself to special summon Harpie Channeler, triggering the effect of Harpie's Hunting Ground to destroy my Alluring Mirror Split, which then will trigger the effect of my Alluring Mirror Split to special summon Perfumer. Now Harpie's Hunting Ground has to go away, but we can use Perfumer to add another Hunting Ground or whatever card that we need, whether it's Harpie's Feather Rest, an Egotist, or Alluring Mirror Split, whatever card that we need. And then we can use the effect of Harpie Channeler, discarding the Harpist, to special summon Harpie Oracle, which again, we can get any of these cards back into our hand. So it's like, even if my opponent does break my board, I get that type of board. And if they don't break my board, let me reset if you guys don't mind. If they don't break this board, I think this would be in my hand. Feather Rest is in my graveyard. If they don't decide to break this board and the Feather Rest was already too strong for them, I can still go about setting the Elegant Egotist, normal summoning the Harpie Dancer, triggering Hunting Ground to destroy it, which will trigger its effect to add a Harpie monster from my deck to my hand. I can add a card like Harpie Perfumer for an additional, summon. I can add a card like Harpie Oracle in case I want to summon it. Regardless, I can use the effect of Harpie Dancer to return itself to summon again, destroy, and then still pop off with the exact same combo. That's pretty much it for the video. Everything that I can show you about Harpie monsters. Of course, if you guys have that access, go ahead and make that Utopia double combo, which, not Utopia, you go ahead and you make double, you detach, and then you make the Utopia, get the double for nothing, double or nothing, negate your attack, and then go for game. But pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a like, and if you really did, consider joining our Patreon. We have quite the few rewards. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy. I hope you guys are having a great day like I am.